Hi all, my name's Cassie. I'm an intuitive artist as well as an art therapist and art teacher. So today I'm going to show you how to create mandalas, and as we do, I'm going to show you how to put personal intentions on that so it can act as a symbol, a signal, or a talisman to manifest great things for you. I believe mandalas are magic, and I believe they're a great way to relax. They require a little bit of discipline, but you don't have to be a great artist to create one. You just have to give it your focus and just enjoy the process of creating a mandala. So, the one that I have on screen, I created a couple of weeks ago. I call it my wealth garden. It was to help me dig deep inside of myself to create my own sense of self worth and I guess project it out into society. It was all about opening up and learning my voice and really showing people the inner me. And now I'm doing lives every week through my personal readings, and it has really helped me. But I think it's time for me to start a new intention. So you don't actually have to have an intention at the past. You can just follow your rhythm of how you create it and just explore yourself through doing a mandala. Or you can just relax and just create a mandala for the sake of just doing repetitive patterns and really enjoy the coloring process. I'm going to start a new one today and just describe the process I took to create a mandala. I'll show you without the lines. That's just the background work. So this is what it looks like without the lines or the guides. If you want some guides in that, I'm willing to provide them for future reference, so you can do that yourself. But I really like the idea of just starting from scratch because then you can use your own intuition to create the mandala that's important for you now, because creating something of magical worth, magical power is about your intuition mixed with desire, mixed with setting intentions. So I'm going to help you create one today, or you can work with me as I create my own today. Okay, so the first thing I suggest, I'll bring this down, is to create circles using protractor. I You don't have to have this many. As I said, this is using your intuition. And just create all the circles that you feel like you need to do to set your intentions. Just follow your gut instincts and your intuition. It will tell you exactly what you need. So it doesn't have to be even with mine. I just like having even circles on the way out. It doesn't need to be because this is just a guide. It's not going to be our finished mandala or circle. It's just going to help us. So once you are happy with your circles, having kind of followed the protractor outside to get as many circles as you need, I suggest you create a cross in the middle and a cross both ways to create a horizontal and vertical cross that intersects that middle dot that you have used for your projector. Or you can use a 90 degrees angle as well. The rulers that come in the projector set, you can also use that to help you as well. So you can definitely start your mandala from that. I like having more lines because I think it just allows a lot more guidance and allows a lot more control in mandala. So you can, as I said, you can definitely start from here, but I like adding a few more lines. So you don't have to add that many lines. You can just do a cross in the intersection like this and just have very simple lines. But this is what I like working with it because I like the discipline of having many lines just to follow. Okay, so everyone can start off differently. You don't even have to start off with patterns. You can have a central focus in the middle. You can do a love heart. You can do some symbology. You can do code. You can do You can even put a picture of someone in there that you want the intentions to set for. You can put a picture of yourself. You put a word like love, kindness, or you can just put a symbol. Like if you intentions to set money, you can put a dollar sign there. but it's really up to you what your intentions you want to do for this. I'm not really going to set intentions for this. I set intentions for the other one. Sometimes I just like following my intuition and letting my intuition unwind to tell me what I need to help me. So I'm just going to start and just feel out what colors I need. This is why I'm doing it on Photoshop, because I've got everything at my disposal and I can just free throw through the video. So I'm going to put some music on in the background so you're just not going to see me draw and not talk to you. I'll make sure I keep talking and talk you through it, because it's a lot of discipline. Well, it's not really discipline, but you still need to sort of follow your own patterns. I'll put it patterns because it doesn't have to be precise. It doesn't have to be like everything that you draw over and over again. It doesn't have to be precise. You can have a little bit of variety. If anything, the variety makes it more interesting. You don't have to be a great artist. You just have to have a little bit of attention to detail. And it is a good way to meditate too, especially if you can't meditate through normal, just lying down, closing your eyes and breathing in and out. If something like that bores you, doing mandala is a great meditation tool because it actually allows you to get in sync with yourself, listen to the thoughts that are coming through, allow higher wisdom to come through as well. So mandalas are really great tools for a lot of these spiritual activities as well as art activities, because it allows you to trust yourself just to make a mark on page and know that it's going to look beautiful at the end. And it's more about the journey than the end result. So don't have a picture in mind when you do this. Just let the journey unravel and trust yourself as you do this. Okay, so I'll begin. As I said, I don't know what's going to come through. I'm just going to use my intuition to do this one, just because I feel like that's what I need today. So I'm just going to see what comes through. I'm going to put some music on now. Okay, so I feel like I need some pink at the moment. Okay. I'll just do normal brushes because it's unfair that if I get special brushes for this. See, they're not all exactly the same. Some overlap each other. Doesn't matter. Just keep going. Because it's all a part of the magic that needs to come through. You don't even need to follow lines. Like I feel like, say, I kind of guessing what would be in between this just to add my own lines, using my own intuition to sort of work out where the lines would be, especially if you haven't done enough lines for you to do this. So I'm sort of doing the middle of each line, using that as a guide. Because it's okay to break a few of the rules that you set up for yourself at the back. As I said, this is all about you and your own creative freedom and your own spiritual freedom. And as you can see, I didn't even do the lines precisely. It doesn't matter because it's still going to turn out lovely when you finish. And yeah, you can do this cut and paste as well. That doesn't really matter. If you want to just repeat different pictures that come out of magazines and put in there. Like, as I said, even this one, I'm doing every second circle, I'm putting this dot. I could zoom in to do this, and you can do that if you choose to do it on the computer. But I'm just doing it how you probably would do it. Then I want to show you what can happen. As you can see, like I'm just following instinctively to the patterns that I've already started and creative, but they all look very different. It's just following that pattern. And the more you do these, the better you will be at them. But as I said, this is just for intention setting at the moment, so I'm not really concerned with making it look like the best mandala in the world. And plus, I don't want this video to go for hours. I just want it to go within 20 to 30 minutes and give you an idea of what you can create. Okay, I also listen to the words that are coming through. So at the moment, this is kind of how I do my intuitive art in a way too. I've got time capsule coming through, so I'm not sure what that means, but the words time capsule is coming through. I can write that down to the side if I wanted to, but for the purpose of this video, I won't mess up my work with words and that. But usually when I do my intuitive art, if words or insight come through, I write that stuff down straight away. But this is, I know what it'll mean at the end for me, so it's not gonna, I don't have to do that right away. But usually this is what I do when I get a reading, is just trusting that insight that comes through, trusting my body is going to allow me to do the right stuff. As you can see, I haven't made it perfect, but it's looking interesting already. Oh, that's my old one. That even looks interesting over my old one. Might put that down the bottom because I don't need that at the moment. Come back to that purple. As you can see, I'm even using my own lines now. I'm not even using the guidance lines that I started before. I'm just letting my instincts tell me where things need to go. I guess music can affect your intentions too, so it's up to you if you want to do it with music and other distractions. It's up to you how you work. If you think it will distract you, I'll turn all music off and just have a quiet space and do it. It's up to you how many colors you want to use to. you want to color anything, you can. Or you can just let things be shapes, symbols, and objects. It's really up to you. And even analyze things like, oh, why have I done this sharp and smooth? And they'll answer some questions too. Why did I choose these colors? To me, they're nice and bright and bold. And I guess this is more an intellectual one because they're the colors I consider with the intellect. But we all have a color signature that's unique to all of us. So different colors mean different things to yourself depending on the experience in life, I guess. And we do associate different colors of things, and it's just how we've been taught or how we've recaptured life in our own subconscious mind. Magic, subconscious mind's all the same to me. Like, I believe our magic does come from our subconscious mind because that's where our dream times come, that's where our stories come from, that's where our feelings come from, and that's basically where our history comes from. Our soul remembers things from. It's our subconscious. It's a lot deeper than how we see things for the here and now. Like, our conscious mind is really, really great at evaluating the details of life. But it's our subconscious mind that translates that into what things mean to us. Therefore, we always create a meaning to whatever is filtered through our subconscious. Our mind just basically says this is happening on the outside, then it transfers to our subconscious self, which is usually our creative self, and just says, okay, what does this mean to us? And it needs both, because we need our conscious mind to translate what's going on around us, but we need our subconscious mind to give life meaning. And that's why I believe our magic's there. I am a physical person and as well as a spiritual person. I see both things. I believe in science and I believe in spirituality. I love the research when they come together and just see, well, they're the same thing. And when I learn more about physics and more about spirituality, about matter and how energy works, to me they are the same things. It's just a different interpretation of life, and we all have a unique interpretation. Okay, I'm going to continue because I'm starting to get philosophical. To me, like, what's coming through when I do these is kind of like sound waves. I could even come to the edge and follow the edges of things, but I don't like that. It's not really what I wanted to do. Kind of looking like a self for me at the moment, like maybe a side guide or something like that. But as I said, it's really up to our own interpretation. Well, I can get more precise by just sort of following where lines touch, like if I wanted this halfway through. But as I said, I don't worry about it being too precise. I let it have its own magic. But you can give it more precision by just sort of thinking that's about halfway. It's about halfway. I want it about there. Or you can do more lines, as I said. You can definitely do more lines to get more precision. I don't do it for precision or making it look perfect. I do it for the message and see what needs to come through for me and setting the intentions. I don't believe art always has to be beautiful. Art is always the messenger. Art is a message. It comes from people's soul, it's intuition. And you can see this in art. It always has something to say about what's going on in life. It's always got something to say what's going on with you. And there's many times that we have put ourselves in an artist's perspective by even just viewing their art and exploring their art and seeing what it means to us. We always love hearing what the artists say. But usually our personal interpretation is more strong because we're filtering life through our subconscious and creating our own story through life. And that's what makes art so magical and how it communicates to us. Can't remember what show it was on last night. I was listening it to on TV, was playing games. And even Jackson Pollock's, I think it was on a podcast that my husband was listening. He drew a black portrait and it had 2 red dots on it. And an art critic said it's really the perception of the artist. He's trying to create a self-portrait himself. But then the podcast person says, oh, but is he white? But he's white, not black. It's like, oh no, that's just the depths of his soul. And these are the 2 parts of the personality that people miss. And then when they asked Jackson Pollock, what does the 2 red dots mean? He goes, oh, I just want to paint it black, and I don't know, must have been artist flashback, the red dots. And that's the thing, the artist meaning could be just as simple as that. It was an accident, I didn't mean to put those red dots, but the person was reading so much into artwork because they had to find meaning there. And that's what we do in life. We need to find meaning to everything that we filter through our lens, which is our conscious mind. I won't say it's an accurate record of what's going on in life, and most of the time it's wrong. But usually when we have our subconscious supporting, we usually come back with a valid feedback loop, which makes things either right or wrong for us. So I guess that's important. What's right and wrong for us? And as I said, my interpretation of what's going on now, you're already probably can probably get a message what's coming through from you, what you're looking at this. To me, it just reminds me of like a cell, a zygote, but you might get something completely different. It might be very alien to you. You might think it's quite ugly. I don't know. You might think it's quite beautiful. It doesn't matter. It's just the thing you're creating. So even if you don't like it at this stage, keep doing it. Keep completing it and keep finishing it. You'll see why, because it'll look quite fantastic at the end. Even if you do make mistakes in it, or even if it's not perfect, it's still going to look really cool in the end. And you'll find just the thing of doing repetitive action is just relaxing for the mind as well, because it does look demanding when you see a finished mandala, but just the process of doing it is not demanding on the mind at all, because it is just a pattern of repeating processes. I don't know why I'm making that one bigger. I don't know. I meant it to be that way, but I don't want to do that. So if I'm dancing along, it helps my creative juices. That's what I mean. You should have fun when you're creating. It shouldn't have to be about pressure or anything like that. Just have fun doing what you're doing. And as I said, I'm rushing this a little bit because I don't want this to be a heaps long video. Usually mandalas I usually take about 2 hours to do when I do sit down and do them. But as I said, I don't want you to sit down for 2 hours watching me do this video.
Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking what's mine, that I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. I admit that I've lost my place. My memory's gone erased. Like a scratch, only the scar remains. For we are better apart from all the pain. You're still like the stars above.
And since I'm doing this intuitive, I'm kind of understanding more and more of what my mind wants to get through. Message wants to get through. But as I said, you can see that I'm not taking my time. I'm rushing it. Not doing my best artwork, but it's still looking very interesting. Really don't know what these are for, but I guess I'll have a look at that at the end. Kind of remind me a bit of whale fins. It might be the color that's sort of reminding me of that, but that's what's coming to mind. Maybe this is about life for me, like the intellectual of life. It started off as a zygote for me, but now these little things that are coming off here are reminding me of whale tails, you know, in the ocean and that. So, you know, in my mind, I believe that, you know, through evolution and that we started off in the ocean. That we were microbitic selves. Like, you know, one time we were really small, but then through intention, we wanted to evolve and become something more than us. So we did, and we evolved in the ocean. And then we decided that we wanted to explore more, and then we came to land. And you see now, even with the environment, like if you believe in evolution, you see people, you know, in Africa, they have dark skin. In colder weather, we have light skin. So I guess that's why I made the choice to say that I believe in evolution, because you can see that people are different around the world, and even animals are different around the world to their climatic condition. So that's what it means to me. So maybe this is the story that's coming through to me about this artwork. It's just life in general and what sparks it and what creates it. Like, the egg, the land, the water, the ocean. Intuitive art is a great way to have conversations with yourself and get in contact with yourself as well. It doesn't have to be through a mandala, it can be just by having an art journal and just scribbling in that every day. There's a great thing that I do is Zentangles. Look it up. Zentangles takes you about 5 minutes every day, and it's just basically scribbling. But they have so much insight and so much wisdom, and it just frees your mind of all that self-criticism that you have. And it's actually a great way to start your artworks as well. It's just do like 5 or 6 Zentangles, because you'll start moving your hands and start moving your body. And I know we all have intellectual ideas about art, but art and creativity is done through the body. You can't do art without either your hands, expressing your voice, expressing your body, like through play or anything, or through music. It might be channeled through your mind and channeled through your heart, but it's your body that does the art. And it's your body that holds the feeling of art. It's your body that really understands art and makes art. Even if we do get the wisdom and that from channeling it through our mind and our thoughts, it's our body that follows through and does art. I don't know how long I've been so far, but as I said, this is probably going to be longer than I expected, just because it's become more in depth than I wanted it to be. I'll see if I can speed it up and keep the audio. I probably won't be able to with the limitations I have. Like, I can even see that there's heaps of mistakes in this while I'm doing it, like, because things aren't lining up how I want it to, but it's okay, just keep going. This activity is not about getting things right. You can make things go right, but you're still going to get the insight without even worrying about it. Just work on the areas that you feel driven to work on. Like, even those small mistakes mean something. See those wobbly bits? I didn't adjust that because I just felt like it needed to be there. This art is for me, it's not a commission or anything, so I don't need to keep going back and getting perfection or anything. And you can even see my colouring skills are not probably do the best either. But as I said, this is for me and you, because I'm showing you my story, why I do this. But it's mostly for me to interpret. It's for my soul. Even these are not perfectly the same, because that one's facing differently. But these ones want to face this way, because that's the way the art's telling me it needs to be. And I even forgot this one. Let's see. I might put this one too. I'm going to shade on this one. Let's make it a bit quicker for us. You can start really feeling the energy of it now. Even though it's completely not uniform, you can sort of see some sort of uniformity there, can't you? I feel like I need to bring the yellow in again. Doesn't matter if you go over things like this, because I'm gonna follow things that you already have got there. Doesn't matter. Okay, so right now it's changing again because that kind of looks like a cog now. Even to a flower, it kind of reminds me of. Like even just following the thoughts that are happening now. So the picture's completely changed for me. To me that reminds me of a cog in a machine, like a super basic machine. I feel like I need to put this here. The thing is, if you're not careful, mandalas can go on forever. So if you need to have a finishing time, that's good too. So you can even see how much, just by adding those little things in, how much it's transformed already. And it actually has a lot more energy with it now, and a lot more vibration. And this is me just doing it really messy. As you can see, I never really followed totally disciplined. I just followed I made a choice of a pattern by using the grid and just kept following the pattern intuitively, and I didn't care what it looked like, and it still looks really interesting to look at and really cool to look at. And as I said, if I took more time and was more careful with my lines, it probably would look more interesting. I still don't feel like it's finished, but now this picture reminds me of industry, moving industrial or anything like that. And it still has the life essence with it as well. But as I said, you can even find your own meaning out of my mandala. It doesn't matter. It's using your conscious mind to take in what's happening now and allow it to filter through and mean something to you. Like, I don't know, I have an instinct just to even follow these lines now. And you can do that. And it comes up with something different again, like, you know what I mean? And it will change the whole picture again. So usually when you have an intention when you start, you will actually see it manifest inside the picture. So it's like, that's what's really cool about actually setting an intention, because you've already told your subconscious mind an expectation of what you want. And your subconscious mind always delivers. It always gives you something that you're looking for. It mightn't be as perfect for your critical, like, conscious mind to take on, but it will always deliver the stories inside of yourself. And usually maybe I'm a little bit unorganized, and that's why it's come out messy, because it does look a little bit disorganized. It looks like disorganized chaos, but it still has a reflection of me inside of it, and a reflection of the artwork, and a reflection of what I'm trying to tell through it. And I still think that's cool, but as I said, I'm not finished yet. I've still got heaps more I want to add to it. Like the way I'm drawing these lines are squiggly to me. When I draw like that, it's like getting in the flow. Feeling the flow of what's going on. And since this is the central point, I think this is a flow of light coming from inside me.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's all.
You'll actually find the pictures start talking to you. This is what I'm discovering now. It's basically telling me what it wants from me, which I think is really cool. And that's probably is your intuitive mind talking to you. But it's basically telling you what it wants. So just trust it. As I said, just trust yourself and just do what you feel you want to do.
Take my eyes open to force reality.
And if you want it to be neater, just take more time just doing the shapes. As I said, I'm just doing a rush job at the moment, just to show you that you don't have to be a great artist to do this, that you could just do it just because, the sake of because you want to do it, pretty much. I'm being a little bit fussy, but not as fussy as when I do my art, because usually my art's for other people, and I don't have to be the critic for my art. I like all my art. I love all my art. Sometimes I have a critical day and say, oh, my art's not, something's not right with it. But then I remind myself, art for the sake of art. What comes through was meant to come through. And the art that I usually criticize are the ones that people love. And it's funny though. But I think if anyone does an art and craft, there's always that thing, is your expectation towards other people's expectation and what's best. But if you want to set an intention, as I said, just start by setting the intentions to saying what you want, seeing if it's coming from your highest self and your best self, because if it's not coming from the highest place in yourself and from the best intention, there's always going to be blocks, because you know the difference from what you want and what you feel like you want. You just know the difference intuitively, and it's that intuitively part that sort of stops you or blocks you getting what you want. So it has to come from your highest self and it has to come from your higher needs. Not just like, oh, someone has a sports car, I'd like that sports car. Or someone has a nice house, I love that house. It has to come from the essence of, I want more security in my life. I want more time for play in my life. I need more time for rest. Why can't I need space? Or I want to be more with family and friends that make me laugh, etc., etc. It has to come from those more higher aspects of self. A lot of people want to have intentions of money. I'm not saying you can't have that, but see, with money, there's always blocks around money for a lot of people. So I'm just saying, before you make the intentions around money, really explore those blocks around money and probably start working on the blocks around money. It's like, I believe I only have enough money to support me. I wish I had more money so I can go out and have fun. So maybe just before you go to that 50,000 a year, maybe think of those small things that will help you, because intentions are working on the blocks or the confidence and that to help you move forward. I'm not saying that intentions won't bring you 50,000 a year, but if you're not working on those smaller things to help you get there, it's going to take you much longer, because you're always going to have these little trip ups come up because you're jumping your beliefs too far. Starting off small with your beliefs are going to get you further. because you're going to address those smaller things that are getting in your way with your intentions. So I hope that helps. And since we are human and we have a lot of disappointments, we have got a lot of false things that we tell ourselves. Doesn't mean it's true. It just means that something that's happened in life that's giving you this belief that's either true or not true, but doesn't mean that it can't shift. And that goes the opposite way. It goes for positive things, but it goes for negative things as well. And that's just life experience. And if you get yourself believing the small things really easy, you can build them up for the big things. It's kind of cool that how that one's a bit bigger. I have to really even ask about that one, why that one's a little bit thicker. Because it's kind of really pointing in that direction, isn't it? Where the other ones are only slowly going out. But that's really creating a definite arrow for me there. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that one, but something for me to have a chat about. But I do agree, if I took more time to put into it and invest in it, it probably would look a lot better, but it doesn't really matter in the end. That's not even a perfect circle, but it wants to go there. If something seems a bit weird to you, you can always ask, why is that there too? That's another thing you can do in your art. If it just sort of thinks, okay, this is not really my pattern, why does it want to be there? As you can see, it's changed again. It just has different sort of energy. And the things that came to my head, it felt a bit different, like why was that meant to be there? In my mind that sort of said, that's an egg. Like, I'm not sure why, but that's what it said. But as I said, if you're a perfectionist and you need more precision in your work, and that's fine. Because as I said, I usually take a lot more time with mine. As you can see from my first one, it usually takes me 2 hours. And if you are like that, just add more lines or just take it a bit slower. Like, I've been rushing mine. Just really think about your lines. Like even here, you can even think about the spaces more carefully. And just before you put the spaces in there, just things like that you can change. And see, like I even see little things that I forgot here. Like I missed that one, but I put something else there. So I was wondering what that means for me. But then I wanted to add it there, so. Okay, so I'm just asking it if it's anything else I want. And as you can see, I'm only doing really simple shapes here. It's not like I'm doing anything really complex here. Make it hard or anything. They're really, really simple. I like that, but I don't know if that's what's meant to go where it's meant to go. But as I said, embrace your mistakes. I don't know why I didn't do it then, because I think it's meant to be there. I don't understand it now, but that doesn't matter. It wants to be there, so I'll just be there. Okay, now I get it. They're just giving a bit more of a three-dimensional look for some reason. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to probably keep working on this because there's still heaps more I want to do. But I will just leave it there just because this could go on for a long time. So as you can see that I've talked about the story that went through. I probably will explore it even more. What was first... Okay, I'm going to turn off the lines when I do this so they don't come in my way. What first came to a zygote actually turned into life for me. And there's something else I'm missing. Like even things like I missed with the yellow line out there. See, I missed this one up here. So it's not always going to be a thing, but you can see the patterns in that. And you can see the intentions, and you can see that it's all different, but it still has a pattern. It's still got mastery, and it still has a lot of energy. And as I said from the start, sorry I'm repeating myself here, it started off as a zygote for me. It started off with energy of life, and I can see those energies pointing out. Then it turned into a whale. Then it turned into a cog. So I'm just going to see what comes up. And it's sort of like, what came up is how I want to operate in life. How I want to have a bit more direction. How I want to create more of myself in my life. So that was the story that came to me through this. And because I am a bit of a chaotic mess, most of the time you can actually see that in there, but there is some direction in that as well. And I observe the colors. Like, it's interesting that I've got the earth's yellow, reds and orange in there just as a base, but on the outside I have a lot of bright colors. So to me that's showing the more I do have an earthly substance and I am connected to the earth. It's just that on my exterior I am very bright and colorful, and probably a little bit overwhelming because the colors are a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot of colors to look at and a lot of things to look at for me. And even this one here, like near the arrow that didn't thing out, I didn't finish that one either. So you come back and look at things like that and just say, well, why didn't that get completed, and see if the story comes up with you. I feel like I want to complete it because that's my nature, but you can go back into your stories and see why things aren't completed, or how'd you miss it, or if something seems to stand out. As I said, this really standing out, pointing northeast, that really stood out for me. Maybe it's a direction because the first thing that came to mind was a direction, or there might be something I need to explore down this part of the picture. It's just things like that. And as I said, you can make this a lot neater by adding more lines, adding more circles, taking your time more. But I didn't want this to go on forever because, as I said, I usually take 2 hours for my more precise mandalas. Like, okay, I'll see if I can find it. Okay, I'll just bring it up. Like this one here. This took me about an hour and a half to do. Still cool, I still love it. But I took my time with it. I took my time with this one. And that's why it looks much better, because I did take time with it. And really concentrated on the dots. And I added more circles and really concentrated where I was putting things. On the one I did today, I was just sort of really just putting it out there for you and just showing you the process. So I still probably would have got the same message. I probably would have just had a bit more consistency with it. But I'm still happy with it, and that's the thing that matters. I still love it. It's given me a consistent message, something I can concentrate on later. You know, it'd be a great floral pattern, whatever. You can concentrate on the colors. It's actually got a lot of energy to it. So I'm happy with it, and that's all that matters, is that you're happy with it and you've got the right intentions with it. If there's any questions, remember my name's Cassie. Just contact me through my page, Cassie Gregory, The Heart of Tigris, or go to my website, www.tigrisillustrations.com. And if there's anything you need to ask about mandalas or intuitive art, I can definitely help you with that. Also, I have a class for creative people to get more comfortable with doing intuitive art, more comfortable believing in themselves and trusting themselves doing art so they can start creating again. I have been developing an art class as well, teaching people how to actually do art consistently week to week. That one's probably a lot more for the serious people, because to be a great artist does take a great commitment, like a big commitment to actually be a really good artist, and probably needs about 2 or 3 times a week doing art consistently. Where I think creativity is always inside of us, it's always a part of our soul, always a part of our being. We are born to create, and we do have really creative ideas. Everything that we perceive, everything that we express is a creation of us. As I said, it's our subconscious mind that takes everything around us, filters it in through us, so we find meaning. So everything we say, everything we do, every way we play, everything we express ourselves, I just kept thinking of doing art or playing music, or the music we play, or the way we express ourselves is being creative, because everything that we do is a part of us. We just filter in the world. It's not just the world. We filter into the world. Then we mix it up in our great creativity, and then we express it the way we see it. So everything we say, do, feel, engage with is a part of our creativity. I'm just showing you more ways to utilize that to get you aware of how you operate, the things you can do with how you operate, how magnificent and interesting you really are. And if you're a creative being like me who loves doing art, music and that, you definitely have the potential to do it. We all have the potential for magic. We all have the potential for more creativity. I'm just here to show everyone that. Well, I'll sign off now. Thank you for people for listening. Love and light, Cassie. Bye, y'all.